Before we dive in, let me just say this. If you came here expecting a deep dive into stock charts, real estate trends, or hot investment tips, you might want to check out one of the countless other channels that specialize in that. This isn't that kind of video, and I'm not that kind of guy today. Fear's always going to have a seat at the table, but you get to decide how loud its voice gets. You could spend your whole life chasing shadows, worrying about what might happen tomorrow. But the only thing that's real is what's happening right here, right now. Every decision we make, right in this very moment, comes from either love or fear. And let's be real, most of us end up choosing fear. But we dress it up and call it being practical. What we truly want often feels way out of reach, even foolish to ask for. So we don't. We bite our tongues, play it safe, and never even dare to ask the universe for it. But I'm living proof that you can ask and receive. Because here's the deal. Life doesn't just happen to you. It happens for you. Honestly, sometimes I think that's the only truth that really matters. My dad? He could have been a killer comedian. He had it in him, but he didn't believe it was in the cards for him. So he played it safe, took the responsible route and became an accountant. But when I was just 12, he lost that so-called safe job. And from then on, our family had to hustle just to make ends meet. My dad taught me a lot of things. One of the biggest was this. You can still fail at something you don't love. So why not roll the dice and go after something you do? What I can give you today is the real hard-earned experience I've gathered over the years. Through time, through pain, through life. And let me tell you straight up, today's topic? It's not gonna be sugar-coated. We're talking about the reason why most people stay stuck in the middle class. Or worse, get trapped below it and never make it out. If you're in that middle or lower bracket, you already know how hard it is to break out. And honestly, that struggle is by design. Why? Because you're running the wrong software, plain and simple. Your subconscious, the OS in your brain, is outdated. It's running on a program that was never meant to make you rich. You're out here chasing goals with a system that won't let you win. Sounds harsh? Let me break it down. Why don't you have what you want? What's really blocking you? And more importantly, how do you rewrite that inner code? Does this mean you're doomed to die broke if you don't change your subconscious? Should you just accept your fate? Hell no. You can absolutely tap into this. You just haven't been taught how. You save when you can. You could splurge. You could max out your card during an interest-free promo. But you don't. Because you're thinking ahead. You're not living just for today. Sure, saving means cutting back, but even holding back on those I deserve it buys? That's saving too. It all counts. Most people are doing the same. You're probably investing too. Maybe following a friend's tip, maybe hopping on the latest stock everyone's talking about. You throw in some money here and there, maybe IPO stocks, maybe big names like Apple or Microsoft. Even if you're not 100% sure, you go along with it because, well, everyone else is doing it. You've probably even opened a housing savings account. Everyone's done it at least once. And when your salary couldn't stretch far enough, some of you even switched jobs just for a little bump in pay. You hustle for every tiny raise. You negotiate hard. You stay late hoping for that bump. You grind weekends for a little extra overtime. You squeeze every drop out of your job. But deep down, you know it's not going to make you rich. Why am I saying all this like I know what I'm talking about? Because I've been there. I've tried everything. I ran myself into the ground chasing that dream, and still I didn't get rich. Maybe a few of you out there are just cruising through life, going with the flow. But if you're watching this, that's probably not you. Most of you are grinding, day in, day out. You drag yourself to work, and even your weekends don't feel like rest. You're running on fumes. You're maxed out, burned out. And still, somehow, you find slivers of time to study, learn about investing, save a little here and there. You're trying to grow, even while running on empty. That's your life, packed from morning till night. And I get it, because I live the same exact way. Probably just like you. So let me tell you a hard truth. No matter how hard you work, how late you stay up, how much of yourself you pour in, effort alone will never make you rich. But then, how do you explain it? Some folks who had nothing end up making it. Total average Joes somehow hit the jackpot. So yeah, it's hard, but it's not impossible. It just means you've got to know how. It's like trying to run a new game on a computer from the 90s. You've got to upgrade the system first. And that system? It's your subconscious. Yeah, sure, knowing how to read stock charts or spot hot real estate deals helps. But that's just a band-aid, a quick win. It's not the cure. It's like those emergency stimulus checks. Nice while they last, but you blink and they're gone. If you miss the timing, you're out of luck and back to square one. But if you understand this method I'm about to share, the wall that felt impossible to climb will start to crack. And one day, you'll just walk right through it. And hey, if this all sounds too obvious to you, you're probably not ready for it yet. Honestly, you can just click out now. Because if you're not hungry for change, nothing I say is going to sink in. How do I know? Because 15 to 20 years ago, I would have rolled my eyes at this kind of talk too. It all sounded like fluff, just noise. But now, I'm in a different place. I'm wealthy, and not just financially. Look, there are people out there way richer than me. I'm no CEO. I don't run some big company. I was just your average office guy, a plain old white-collar worker. Actually, scratch that. I was a white-collar worker who lost $500,000 to fraud. And guess what? I still haven't gotten that money back. But when I look back now, I'm someone who came from nothing and built real wealth. No shortcuts, no handouts. And here's the most important part. Not just kind of important. I mean the most important thing I've learned. People who figure this out, they weren't born different. It's not fate. It's not some magical talent for investing. That's all a myth. If destiny alone decided who got rich, then lazy folks would be rolling in cash, and hard workers would still be broke. So what's the point in trying, right? Might as well just say YOLO, you only live once, and stop trying, right? But that's not how this game works. Even if I can't promise it's 100% in your control, deep down we both know it's not all luck either. You know what I was thinking 10 years ago? Not, let me use this stable job to build wealth. Nope. I was just thinking, thank God I have a steady paycheck. I've made it. I'm set for life. That's the trap I fell into. 10 years later, the newbies were still thinking the same way. Most people stay broke. Only a tiny slice ever break out. Here's the truth bomb. Most of us never had the concept of true wealth programmed into our minds. It's just not there. It's like trying to run wealth software on a system that's never been installed. Like putting a Mac app on a Windows XP. Even if you climb out of poverty or the middle class, the idea of being truly wealthy doesn't compute. You can't process it because the software's just not there. How could you expect to think that way when the idea was never even installed? You've got to plant that concept first. And yeah, everyone's definition of rich is different. It's personal, it's emotional. Only you know what number makes you feel, okay, I made it. That's the real gap between us and the truly wealthy. We're not just in different pay grades. We're in different realities. You talk to your coworkers and hear them casually mention land, properties, family money, luxury cars, and another trip abroad like it's no big deal. And suddenly, you start feeling like you're the only one stuck in the mud. You feel the pressure to look rich too. So you start spending to keep up. And guess what? Now they think you've got money and they start spending to match you. And just like that, everyone's playing this silent game of financial chicken, racking up debt just to seem successful. It becomes a vicious cycle. You can't save, you can't invest. You're just barely treading water. So what's really fueling this never-ending war to look rich? Is it envy? Pride? jealousy, the need to flex? Those are just the surface-level symptoms. The real cause runs deeper. You're not running wealth software. You're running lack software. That's what's driving your decisions. That's the real virus in your system. You were born into it, raised in it. You're doing your best, but inside the limits of a system that keeps you poor. You're fighting with the brakes on. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Sounds cliché, right? But let's be honest. In most cases, it's true. The rich, they've been programmed differently. They think differently. And because of that, they live differently. Who's holding the key to that cage? It's you. You've been living inside limits that you unknowingly set. It's like a thermostat. The moment you try to rise above your set point, your subconscious drags you right back down to your comfort zone. Even if it's uncomfortable, it's familiar. Dr. Bruce Lipton once said, "Your life is a printout of your subconscious mind." Read that again. He proved, not guessed, that 95% of your life is driven by the subconscious programming you picked up before the age of 7. Where does that software come from? From watching your parents, your siblings, your surroundings. You soaked it in like a sponge before you even knew what money meant. So if your parents moved like rich people, you subconsciously pick that up. And you act rich without thinking. And if you were raised around poverty, you downloaded that script instead. A script full of, "That's not for us. We can't afford that." Life's supposed to be hard. In psychology, they call it self-limiting beliefs. But I'll call it what it really is. Mental handcuffs. Bad beliefs lead to bad choices. Bad choices stack up brick by brick until they build the future you. And then one day you look up and wonder how the hell you got here. But don't go blaming your parents. They were just running the same program they got handed. They passed down what they knew. That's all. You've heard the flea in the jar story, right? Or the one about baby elephants tied to a tiny rope? The lid comes off. The rope gets loose. But they stay put because their mind is still trapped. So let me ask you straight. Are you the flea? Are you the elephant? Still living by rules that don't exist anymore? But here's the twist. We're not fleas. We're not elephants. We're human beings. We can rewire the system. We can rewrite the code. And I did it. Not with magic, not overnight, but with repetition. Relentless, boring, powerful repetition. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but guess what? Science backs it. Say, "I'm happy" long enough, your brain starts believing it. Then it starts creating it. Speak it, write it, feel it. Do it every day like brushing your teeth. That's how you reprogram the machine. Will it be easy? Not even close. In fact, it'll be 10 times harder than you expect. But if it could change your life, if it meant living your dream, building real wealth, and finally breaking free, wouldn't it be worth it? So don't forget this. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. You're not a victim. You're a builder. Now go build.